This is Rachel Atwood with Restore Freedom, and I'm here to give you a shorter version of the legal explanations behind the laws that were violated when Katherine Henry was arrested on Election Day. That's right, Katherine Henry arrested and then later that day elected Georgetown Township trustee. How many people can say that they were arrested and elected in the same day? Constitutional rights attorney Katherine Henry can. Let me dig into these laws that you understand. It's important for you to understand these things because these are your rights too. You also need to understand first and foremost that the Constitution trumps everything. I'm going to be talking to you about the state law and also a township resolution that are at play here. But the Constitution is king. If you have a township resolution or a law or say a health code that directly comes in conflict with the Michigan state constitution or with the U.S. Constitution, the Constitution always wins, period. So let's get started. First of all, Katherine Henry arrived to defend her petitioners. There were volunteers that were circulating the Restore Freedom petition at the polling center. They were over 100 feet away from the door, but they were being told that they had to leave and that they were trespassing. Katherine Henry arrived on the scene to explain to the officers what I'm going to tell you right now. The officers refused to listen to her explanation of very clear law stating that they could be there, and they chose to arrest her, manhandle her, throw her into the back of the vehicle, causing injuries. Then they told her that they were charging her with trespassing. Then they released her. So no, she did not get carted off to jail, but she was arrested, handcuffed, detained in the vehicle, and given charges. So first, let's start with the Michigan Constitution. If you're interested to know where, it's Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 3. This is what protects your rights to petition the government to redress grievances. And our Election Day efforts to collect signatures fell under that. And everything I'm showing you is on the Restore Freedom website. I want you to go and you can print these yourself, restorefreedomkh.com. Secondly, the U.S. Constitution in the First Amendment, that protects the right of people to petition the government as well. And our Election Day efforts are covered by that. So the U.S. Constitution and the Michigan Constitution both specifically allow for us to be petitioning the government. Now in the Michigan law, let me find that for you, MCL 168.931, this allows a person to disseminate campaign literature on Election Day, which would also include a petition. It allows a person to petition on Election Day when they're beyond 100 feet from an entrance to a building in which a polling place is located. Okay? Also, within that MCL 168, there's further details saying that a person who is collecting signatures cannot do it within 100 feet. They can't do it inside of the polling precinct. They can do it, just have to be at least 100 feet away. This is spelled out in the Michigan law, and yes, our petitioners and Katherine at the time of arrest were far more than 100 feet. That is not being disputed. They were not in violation of that law. Now we're moving on to the township property. This is my favorite part because it's so obvious and easy to understand. And yet when this was presented to the officers and the clerk, they still chose to ignore the law. Now this is a public access resolution by the township property. Keep in mind this holds the least amount of authority in this situation. The Constitution is here, the Michigan law is here, township resolution is here. But I want to show you that they're all in agreement with Katherine Henry. Now they were trying to use point number 3 on this access resolution to establish their right to remove them from the property. On point number 3, it says on Election Day, it's unlawful to park or leave any motor vehicle on township property beyond the time necessary to transact township business without the express consent of the township clerk or other township official. That means You can't have your vehicle on their property longer than the time it would take you to vote. Otherwise, they have the right to ask you to leave because they don't want you to impede the flow of voting. Now, point number 3 does not apply to those who are collecting signatures for a petition. Let me take a look at number 4. Number 4 says, nothing in this resolution, that means nothing on this page, shall be construed to interfere with MCL 168.931, which allows a person to disseminate campaign literature on election day when a person is beyond 100 feet from an entrance to a building in which a polling place is located. Number 4 literally says you may not use number 3 to kick someone off of your property if they are there collecting signatures for a petition. A petitioner has the right to have their vehicle parked in their parking lot for the entire day. So they're trying to use number 3 to justify their actions towards Katherine Henry when she read number 4 to them, saying, no, nothing in this resolution can be construed to interfere with our ability to collect signatures today. Seems pretty cut and dry, doesn't it? And yet the officers refused. Well, what can the officers be held liable? They were just following orders. Oh, you bet they can. Here it is. In our own law, all officers, legislative, executive, judicial, before they take on the responsibilities in whatever government role they hold, they have to take an oath. And they say, I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state. Boom. Every law enforcement officer, every government official, all the way down to a janitor working in a school, any person now employed by the state of Michigan or in service of the state or any governmental agency, as a condition of employment, they have to take and subscribe to the oath or affirmation that's required. That oath right there applies to everyone who is holding any kind of a government position or job. That means school boards too. Any of those individuals who attempt to stop people from circulating petitions outside of the 100 feet would be directly violating that oath and acting outside the scope of their governmental authority. That means these officers, orders or not, they were in violation of an oath they personally took, and they are held liable for their own actions. Moreover, any public officer attempting to do this will be guilty of malicious prosecution. Such an action would also be an abuse of process, as enforcement of such clearly unlawful executive orders is not legitimate, regular, or legal. So the officer in the video said, I have a prosecutor telling me I can arrest you. You cannot use the excuse of I'm just following orders when you have this here. Do you guys understand? Do you understand the broader scope of this? That every government official has taken an oath to uphold the Michigan and the U.S. Constitution. This is what following orders looks like, you guys. You see what's going on in the state of Michigan? This is exactly what just following orders looks like. And we at Restore Freedom, we are here to tell you, enough. You are not allowed to say to me, I'm just following the orders of the health department. I'm just following the executive orders of the governor, when those orders are in direct violation of our Michigan Constitution. I am done with allowing our churches, our schools, our doctor's offices, our health department, anyone who is enforcing orders that violate the Michigan Constitution, that are in direct conflict with our God-given rights. They do not have the right to do so, and being ignorant of what they're doing does not make them innocent. Ignorance is not innocence. It is time that we read the Michigan Constitution. It is time that we learn about the U.S. Constitution. Go to the Hillsdale College online. They have a free course, Constitutional Rights 101 or Constitution 101. It's the meaning and history of the Constitution, and it's free. We need to hold our officers, our school boards, our doctor's offices, our stores. We need to hold them accountable to this. It is not okay. We need to stop just following orders and stop being complicit with these forms of tyranny that violate the Constitution. Where there is fear of the people, when the government fears us, there is freedom. But when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. Is this not obvious? That arrest that happened of Katherine Henry on Election Day should show you that. This is what ignorance and following orders looks like, resulting in tyranny. Are you done? Because we are. Sign the Restore Freedom petition. Did you know that in our petition, if a government official willfully violates the Michigan Constitution, it's a misdemeanor. The second time they do it, it's a felony. They are immediately removed from office, and they are prevented from ever serving in the state of Michigan again. Hallelujah. Do you think this would clean house? Do you think our legislators would take the time to know the Michigan Constitution so that they would stop passing House bills into law like 6032 that are in direct violation with the Michigan U.S. Constitution? Do you think they would think twice before they pass something without knowing what's in it? I think so. Do you think this would get rid of crooked cops that aren't willing to uphold the Constitution, that prefer to violate your rights and to manhandle women like Katherine Henry? Do you think that passing this Restore Freedom initiative would be better for our state, better for the people, and better for our government? I do. Go to restorefreedomkh.com. Sign. Sign before November 13. This is our state. We the people call the shots. We the people tell you how our schools are to be run. We the people tell you that we have a right to medical care. We the people tell you we have the right to breathe fresh air. Know your rights, sign the petition, and stand your ground. Join the Restore Freedom effort. Become a volunteer, donate, and sign today.